Good morning. I I've kind of had like a messed up sleep schedule recently because I've enjoyed staying up really late with the dogs watching movies, and that leads to sleeping in really late, which I'm not proud of. But I just have to adjust that. So this morning I got up earlier than usual. And I used to be an early riser, and I've always kind of wanted to get back to that routine. But yeah, it hasn't been happening recently. Wait, I'm not ready to put those on yet. It hasn't been happening recently just because of my my late night habits, going to bed at 2 in the morning or 3 or 4. So I think the car's warm enough. Let's see. I'm gonna clean my windshield off too. Look at that sun. Ooh! Okay. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to record audio with the blower, the fan going there. No, I was saying luckily it's like a nice clear morning, so we get plenty of sunshine. So I've been having the habit of staying up too late. I enjoy watching, enjoy spending time with the dogs when it's nice and quiet. So, oh look, there's a hawk. I'm not gonna grab my phone while I'm driving. I'm working on resisting that now because it's not a good habit to get into. Luckily, I have a magnetic holder for my phone, so it's hands-free vlogging while driving. I don't even have to look at the camera. Of course, I do have to check every once in a while, make sure the audio and stuff is recording. And also, I have to always anticipate that these recordings are not going to actually turn out based on one or more factors that I didn't consider, like having the mic sensitivity turned up too loud. So I can always cut this out later in the editor. But I think I'm just gonna not talk and just drive to the place I'm trying to get to right now. That's what we love to see, an empty parking lot. Little birds. Good morning again. Depending on how editing this goes, I might not use some of this footage, but the lighting for walking up is not going to be ideal for me pointing at myself. So I think I'm just going to show you the trail because the video will look better, and I'll just talk and overlay that. Can you see my breath? It's freezing out right now, but as always, I'm wearing shorts.
Just to be difficult.
No, it's actually, it doesn't.
Doesn't feel that bad, actually.
As long as my upper body is warm, my legs don't really feel it. But anyway, that's not important. I'm not trying to brag.
What?
So basically, like I said, I'm just gonna, since the lighting wasn't ideal to show my face, since I'm not walking the direction of the light. I don't know how to explain it. Basically, you're just gonna see the trail while I talk, and oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna try and deal with technology issues. My Nikon. Oh my god. So my Nikon tripod just fell apart, so that's fun. Been dealing with a lot of just really stupid, frustrating little issues recently. You know, just enough of the stupid stuff to add to the frustration levels. But yeah, basically, this video is all about me just trying to unload my mind and stress and everything that has been weighing me down, because it feels like it's been a lot. So yeah, I'm just going to be rambling for a while, and basically this is just for me, but also anyone else who might end up watching this that can somewhat relate in one way or another. But on another note, look at all this wonderfully green moss that I'm seeing today. It's a nice sight. You know, when you're in the middle of a northeast winter, there isn't much natural green to go around, and I'm a person that happens to love green. So this is a nice, refreshing thing. Plus, recently my videos have kind of been inside, so I kind of wanted to change it up a bit, and I think better when I'm walking. So, plus it's just more interesting to be outside. But yeah, I just need to unload my mind and just get it all out. Hopefully this camera's focusing. That's another issue. So many little technical things that can go wrong when you're trying to record a video. Camera slightly out of focus, or the audio mic is not working. You know, that's why I've got it in my hand to make sure it doesn't stop on me. You know, I'm watching you. I know you've got it out for me. Anyway, well, that's pretty. Little drippings. This is a pretty place to walk, especially during a sunrise. But yeah, that's what's going to be happening in this video, depending on how long I can survive standing out in the cold in my shorts. But I think I'll be okay. It's basically, yeah, I was actually, speaking of earlier in the video, being up too late, I tried to go to bed at a decent time. I was in bed by midnight, and just this video, I started thinking about this video and all the things I need to say, and just kind of get off my mind. And there was a lot. I was up for several hours trying to fall asleep, but once the thoughts start rolling, it's kind of hard. No matter what, you try to tell your brain to be quiet, and it doesn't always happen. So But yeah, so I'll just get into it. Basically, ooh, look at that. It's pretty. Anyway, basically, one of the things that's been on my mind recently is, for a long time now actually, was my most recent attempt at a relationship, and how it ended up not ending so well. So that's been still weighing on me, even technically after things kind of ended. I was getting self-conscious, like someone's going to sneak up on me. No, basically, so yeah, this is what's been weighing on my mind. Um, anyway, so yeah, I was in Cape Town, reached out to her, um, and yeah, I was after the wedding that I had, free time to just go wherever I wanted to, and I decided to go back to Cape Town and kind of spend time there because it truly is beautiful, and I was loving it. And reached out to the girl, and she responded. She said, "Yeah, let's meet." And I said, we can, however you want to meet up, and ended up inviting me to the house that she lived in with her family for dinner. And so that was a pretty unique experience. Um, got to meet her aunt and uncle and everyone and her dog, and yeah, it was like um, up to that point, it was probably one of the happiest nights of my life, just because like I've been loaning it, being alone for so long, and it was like I haven't really been traveling, and just like back to meeting people and having good times and all that. So yeah, it was like finally met, we got to see each other, and all that, and I remember staying at dinner that night because the aunt asked me, and I was like, no, I'm definitely not looking for relationships. Oh God. Yeah, I remember saying that, and I wasn't. I was just, it's like I just got to travel. Like I don't have time for anyone right now. And well, one thing led to another, and we ended up spending more time together. She only had so many days because she was still, still her semester was going on, and so it was only like a couple of days a week. Um, but I kept extending my stay because I was like, I do like spending time with you, and all that, and we have, there's just so much like, there's a lot of good chemistry here. Um, so yeah, I ended up staying for a long time, 2 months, and then I was getting restless. I'm sorry, but I really I need to travel. Like I'm on holiday. Like I'm spending money. Like I gotta keep going. I want to see the world. That was the whole point of you know, uh, yeah. Just I need to travel. So and she was very understanding, but um, I was like, I think we can maintain this flame, this spark. It's like we can, try the long distance thing, and it did work out for a while, and of course there were some challenges, and some red flags started popping up, and I was in Singapore, and oh. And yeah, things were going pretty well. We were, having really, really long video chats and stuff, video calls and everything, staying in touch constantly, which is really nice. I was like, okay, yep, I'll be back. I'll come back to Cape Town, and we can pick up, we can keep going, And well, the first red flag, she told me that she went on a Bumble dinner or Bumble date. Well, it was supposed to be a friend's, it was supposed to be just a friend that she met on Bumble, not the dating side, like because Bumble is one of those unique apps where it's got the just friends. So it was like she went out to dinner with some guy. I was like, okay, like you're trying to meet other people in your uh, and other teachers because she was a teacher. I was like, yeah, okay, that's okay. I can get that, I guess. But what really burned me was that while I was seeing her, she had to be home before sunset and couldn't be out too long and all that. Um, and I ended up, we ended up taking the Uber a lot, Ubering around, and her family was just concerned for her safety, of course. Um, and that makes sense, especially some areas of Cape Town you don't want to be out after dark. Um, but yeah, this guy, like, she told me, like, this guy came in his car, met her, met her family, and then just took her out after dark, just to dinner. Like, I was just like, what? What? You just let some random guy just take you out for dinner? Like, yeah, yeah. So that was the first red flag. Um, and especially, trying to do long distance, like I was feeling kind of hurt after that. Because like I asked her, it's like, well, what if it was me? Like, what if I had said, I went out on a date, a dinner. What if I went out to dinner with a girl other than you? And she's like, oh, it's like, oh, I understand how you're feeling now. It's just like, well, yeah. So, I wanted to make it work. I really did. Um, I was pretty invested in the whole thing. Um, I wanted to make it work. I was like, I want to, I'm all about forgiveness. Mistakes happen and all that. So, uh, there's more to this story. Yeah. So we kept in touch. Doing, good chemistry. Just everything felt fantastic. Just a lot to share with each other. Just a lot of positive energy. And then I was back home in Washington D.C. and the one night, yeah, the one evening, she was messaging me, and it started, going a little south, and I was like, look, I'm like today, like in the day I was messaging her, I'm not in a good mindset right now. Like I just be easy with me. I don't know. I was in a very fragile mindset on that specific day, and she kind of picked like the one of the worst days to just kind of unload like her the doubt that she had been hiding, and basically, just went on to send me a whole string of messages that basically said, I don't actually think that you love me, and it's just a lot of like invalidating my feelings for her, and um, yeah, on particularly on a day where I had said, like, hey, today, like, I am really not feeling it today. Like, I know, like, our chat's kind of going off to a weird place, and but no, it kept on going south further and further, and uh, yeah, basically, like, that was the night where I was just like, okay, like, I guess it's over. It's like she doesn't actually think I love her, and I just had all my feelings for her invalidated, which is not a good feeling at all, especially when you're actually invested in a person and you care a lot about them. And it feels like they just they don't feel the same at all. So yeah, that was the second big oof. And but yeah, I still, yeah, that was a tough one. That was pretty hard. Um, So I didn't even respond. It's like the time zones and everything. Like she was asleep by the time I finished reading everything, and yeah, so I just didn't even respond. I was, went to work the next day. I was just like, I guess it's, she doesn't want me in her life anymore or whatever. So, but then she suddenly, started calling me at work, and I didn't answer, and ended up calling me 4 times in a row. I was like, oh, okay, maybe she's having second thoughts or whatever. Um, finally, finally said, look, I just need a day to clear my mind. And it ended up being 3 or 4 days. I just, just didn't even contact her. And she called me up at work again and said, "Look, I've been holding space for you, and it's been long enough." And I kind of thought that was, you're telling me how long I have to process this, and I mean, to me, it was a heavy blow for you to tell me all that stuff. So, um, yeah, I was like, that was another thing. I was like, I started realizing that my feelings weren't as important. That she was holding space for me. Like, it ended up being all about her pain. Um, and she kept invalidating, the way I felt and, my mental state, my mental health. Um, yeah, so after that night, I was like, I really wanted to make it work. I was like, just I need a little more time, but I do still want you in my life. So I was like, I'm really I have to heal from this, but I want you in my life because I think we can make this work. Like I truly do love you. And even after she, seemed to think otherwise, based on no no unfaithful actions of my kind whatsoever. It's just out of the blue. I don't think you love me anymore, or I don't think you love me at all. Like that was what she was telling me, and yeah. So I had done nothing to no unfaithful action of any kind to prompt this. Which may sound a little hard to believe, and you're probably forming your own conclusions. But yeah, I truly, it's like, look, like you're the only girl I care about. It's like I'm not the kind of person that, you know, looks, you're my one, you're my best friend for life, kind of deal. So anyway, um, yeah, so it was after those two blows to me, going out on a date with some guy, and that, it's like, let me just say, like, on that note, it's like, go out and have guy friends. Like, that's fine. Like, I trust you. I love you. I believe you. But when it started, when it started being like, oh, wait, why does this guy have special privileges? And, it was like, it was such a struggle for you to spend every day with me. Like, she said she had to beg her family to go out with me during the day and spend time with me. And then some guy that she met online is just like, hey, let's go out in my car somewhere, go out to dinner. Like, after dark. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I don't know. Like, may not sound like it's such a big deal, but it felt like a big deal. It's like I really had been investing a lot of time and just myself into trying to make things work. But anyway, so after, like, after this second, second kind of blow, what happened after that? I'm talking for so long now. Yeah, so it's like, I was like, I still want you in my life after you told me all these things and you totally invalidated how I feel. It's like, I still want to make it work. You reached, it's like you seem to have second thoughts about what you said, and um, maybe we can, maybe we can work through this. So, yeah, kept trying to make things work. And then things just started going downhill again. And she stopped saying, I love you back. Which, you don't have to say it. I even said that, but she made it a point. It's like during a video call, she'd be like, "I'm not going to say it back." It's like, okay, that's you. You know, good for you. You do that. I try not to take it personally because just if you don't want to say it back in that moment, okay. But I love you. As long as you know that. But then it was, I was being too expressive with my feelings, and I was, then she just wanted to be friends, and then she wasn't feeling comfortable with the situation anymore, and um, you know I'll probably there's whole lots of conclusions you could draw from that. Who knows? But yeah, it was just like yeah, wow, this isn't working anymore. But I was just trying. I was like maybe this is just a rough spot. We're gonna make it work, and didn't quite work out. So one thing led to another. Um, you know, we were kind of getting annoyed with each other, and you know, I tried to be reserved, but of course, it's like um, I ended up just making a document, kind of like a list of things. I was like, it's like these are just the things that are on my mind, and I don't want to hold resentment against you, but it's like if I hold on to these words and I never let you know how I'm feeling, then it's just going to lead to more and more misunderstanding and resentment. So I sent her this document with like all my thoughts on, everything. It's like all the, how I felt wronged by some of the things she had done, and um, I guess, but that was that. It's like that was just too much, and she didn't want to hear it and say, all right, we're done. I'm not, we're not going to communicate anymore. And I tried. I tried one. I was like, look, I know things have been rough, but it's like I'm still here. Like, can we give it another try? And it was like, absolutely not. Like, send me the most coldest, a very cold message. She's like, no, no, we're done. So yeah, I had, I was like, wow, okay. So having a long distance relationship end over a phone call is not the most nice thing, but I guess could have been worse. But see, it's still not over. um, yeah, so I uh, I have like a writing Instagram kind of thing. So an Instagram for things I write. So I just post poems and things, and I started you know writing poetry about how I was feeling heartbroken and stuff. And obviously it's like in the stages after a breakup, like you might still end up like checking each other's social media stuff and all that. At least for me, like I was like still checking in on her Instagram, and her WhatsApp stories and stuff, and I realized that she had not only been reading she'd been reading my Instagram poetry about feeling heartbroken, but she was also sending out poetry that she had saved, and was meant for me to read. So I thought, but I was like, I made sure to, it's like I showed it, I was like, do you think this is for me? And to like my friends, and they're like, dude, it's totally like, you guys just ended. Like, yeah, she's like probably having second thoughts and is, so yeah, that went on for a while actually. 3 months of kind of like agony of communicating without really communicating, and I was like, you know, again, I was really still trying. I was like, maybe she just needs her space, her time. Like, she is still obviously thinking about me, like she's reading my stuff, and yeah, so um, but no, um, yeah, 3 months of agony, kind of, wondering if she's ever going to reach out, and because I never messaged her. It's like you said you didn't want to talk, so but I'm here writing my poetry. I see that you're sending soft responses in the form of your own social media posts in direct response to my the things I'm writing. So yeah, that went on for like 3 months, and I was just like I was just like, how long is this? What is happening? And finally, she reaches out, basically for disclosure, and it's like it's probably closure for herself, and yeah, for me. But um, at that point, I was so done. I was like, it felt unfair for me to apologize for hurting her, but I was like, look, as long as you just know, like I never truly intended to ever hurt you. But it was, there was no point in explaining my pain, because it was like my feelings didn't matter at all. It was all about how she was hurt, and I had to really just not unleash my own, you know, just my own hurt, and tell her like you're the, just I really just I was like, I apologized. I said, look, sorry, you know, but all I feel like I did is I sent all I feel like I did to hurt you is send a Google Doc of, just thoughts that I wanted you to know, so you understood if I was having resentment against you, like, and I feel like you just overreacted. Of course, I didn't say that. That's not good. But yeah, that's, it's like, for closure, it's just like there's no point in me diving into. You simply do not care about how I feel. I'm just a man. I'm just a guy to you. You know, you've been hurt by men, and you don't see men as having deep emotions and being you know, um, sensitive. I am a sensitive person, and yeah, it was like, that was just, I'm, my feelings don't matter. I, just kept invalidating how I felt. My pain is not important to her. So yeah, and that was that. And I'm still deeply hurt by that. And yeah, like that's still weighing on me, actually. Even after things, even after I finally got closure in a month ago, maybe. It was right around the time, right before we were about to have the new year. And she finally reached out after like 3 months of just agony for me, just like, is she ever gonna actually message me? And she finally did. I was just done. It's like I can't even. I barely held it together. I was so done. I was like, you don't even understand how I feel, and you do not care. You do not care about how I feel at all. It's all about your pain. That's all that matters to you. So I'm done. Like, block her from everything. Like, it's just totally like fucking horrible experience for me. Really fucking horrible experience. I'm just gonna say it. It was really fucking bad. I'm really hurt by it. If I'm being honest, I'm really fucking hurt. Um, and yeah, so my mental, been trying to rebuild my mental health and mental state, and but yeah, relationships are gonna be a while out for me, just because I'm really fucking hurt by what you did to me and how I feel from all this. Um, so yeah, I've just got to take the time for myself, and yeah, it's like I've been, it's like the thing is like, why am I making a video about this? First of all, because I'm gonna get a kick out of watching this later. Like I'm the one that goes back and watches all my own videos, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's like whatever if no one else watches it, but I'm watching it. It's like this is kind of like my time capsule of you know, I get to go back and watch this whenever I want. But hopefully this is still recording, and it is. It's gonna be a long ass video. um, but yeah, God, it's just like I'm not trying to hold on to the pain, but after you write so much poetry and you write letters and burn them, to just, let it go, like let it go, let it go. Metaphorically, like you're just letting it go, burn off into the nothingness, but it's still here, man. Like I'm like, still fucking hurts. So I'm just trying to heal right now, and blocking her was probably the best thing because like she's not around to invalidate me anymore. I get to feel the feelings. I get to say whatever I want. Like, you know, just yeah, not a good ending. And it really was like it started off so just and it started off slow too because like it had been, and yeah, I say this till the end because you're gonna obviously draw your own conclusions, but I had, due to COVID and everything else and being locked down, staying at home, like it had been about 3 years since I had been in any kind of relationship. I was pretty intensely lonely. Not, tried the dating apps and just didn't feel it. It just, just it wasn't even because, I was getting matches and all that stuff, but it just wasn't feeling it whatsoever. I was just like, relationships are just not for me right now. And remember I said, at dinner at her house that night, her aunt was like, so any girlfriends? So it's like, absolutely not. Like, no, like, not at all. No. And, it was just like, but slowly, man, like those feelings, they just, There was just so much good chemistry. There was like she was, just there was a lot of good things going on, and very slowly, I really thought it out. I took a lot of walks. So I was like, do I really want to like do this? Like, am I feeling, is this really how I feel about her? Is it just going to be like a, kind of like, these feelings aren't what I think they are. But no, you know, I truly did. I truly loved her, like truly did, and you know, it wasn't just a fling. It was, it's like I deeply, it's like these feelings aren't going away. They're strong. I really do love you. And yeah, she ended up invalidating them in the end. So yeah, so wow, this video is long enough. But yeah, so I was like, I was up most of the night thinking about all this, and it's like instead of just me sitting in my room talking about it, why not just make a video outdoors? um, because yeah, I'm probably going to be the only one that watches this, so and that's fine because it's just I'm trying to get this out. I'm trying to get this pain out. Like it's like I write about it. It's like what else are you supposed to do? Like you talk about it. It's like you're just trying to offload it. Like so anyway, yeah, that's about it. So um, everything else that's been weighing me down, acne scars, insecurities with the way I look, thin arms, plus acne scars. That's pretty unattractive. Not that it's not that I really feel like messing with girls right now, at all. And yeah, it's just it's like dating apps don't work. Not for me. Um, the whole and I'll be very careful how I say this, but the whole women don't need a man. It's like they advertise that I don't need a man. I'm an independent woman. Like it seems like there's a lot of that going around, which is fine. That's fine. But it's like where does that leave? Where does that leave guys that are looking for love? It's I'm just like I'm totally just fucking done right now. Like still healing. I don't want to bring my pain into a new relationship. So um, yeah, but we're working through it. You know, and this will be another video. But recently I left my job very very nicely, very peacefully. It's like it's a great it's been a great relationship with the job I had. So I said, look, I need to do more traveling. I'm gonna hit the road about 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't left. Still haven't left home, just because I'm not feeling it. I'm like, like I want to go to Japan, but I don't. It's like in my last trip, this big trip that I took, the last trip ended up being about 3 months abroad, and some things didn't quite work out the way I wanted. I was planning on doing like some volunteer travel, but in other parts of the world, like COVID was and is COVID's still kind of off and on, and people aren't really looking to bring foreigners into their houses and establishments to volunteer. So dealing with that disappointment of okay, well I'm spending money every day and volunteer stuff isn't working out, so I had to come home and because I was just low on funds and yeah, and this time of year is not my happy time. It's like it's just been a lot. It's like wintertime, everything's dead and gray looking. My mental health is really in a downward spiral. Not sleeping well, due to my own. That's my own. I cause most of my own problems. I realize that and I accept that. Still heartbroken. No chance of a relationship anytime soon. Like I'm not even gonna put in the energy because I'm just not feeling it. I'm not gonna do that to anyone. So yeah, I'm just what makes me happy. Well, there's a lot of things that make me happy, but I figure making videos is something I can do in the meantime. Just to kind of so I can look back and be like, look how far I've come. I used to be a depressed fuck. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons. Like I'm uploading this, just so I can look back and be like, look how far I've come. I'm pulling myself out of the misery that I was feeling. So, and obviously, like this has got to change. Like, there's there's some work that has to be done. It's like got to shave and do all that stuff. But anyway, um, yeah. So I'm healing, but it's just like there's only like how else are you supposed to get this pain out? It's like, all right, well, I'll talk about it, make a video. Maybe that'll help. So I do feel a little better. Feel a little better. So yeah, this video is long enough. Instead of hiking the rest of the way, well, I might hike up there, but I'm really looking forward. Ooh, I am really looking forward to using my new coffee grinder, which just arrived yesterday, and my brother got me a couple bags of coffee beans for Christmas, and I've been dying to use them, but I don't want to buy things I'm not going to use if I'm leaving to travel. But I finally splurged. I'm like, look, I need a new coffee grinder, a manual coffee grinder, hand crank one, and those things are fucking expensive. Like, it's like I got a cheap one off Amazon, and that one lasted like 3 years or whatever because I don't use it every day. It's like, and I did a lot of traveling in between using it and all that, so it's like it really probably only lasted like a year, of actual time using it, if that. And so I ordered this other one, and I'll have to, I'll include that in another video. But I'm really looking forward to having grinding whole bean coffee and making that in my French press. So I'm gonna run home and do that now. But yeah, so just wanted to do this, and it would have been more interesting if I had been walking the whole time. But this has been the ideal spot with the lighting and stuff. So I might run up to the top of the rock real quick and get a nice sweeping view of the outside. But honestly, it's like it's winter time. It's kind of depressing looking out. But I just wanted to make this video for myself, and hopefully I can look back one day and be like, yeah, I've come a long way from where I am in this point in my life. So if you've been watching this, thank you so much. But yeah, hopefully this is gonna edit correctly. And thank you. I'll see you soon.